cool. Thank you. Yeah, I've got it set up. I have like this experiment that I want to do with it. I have this program that I want to write that can kind of like take the audio and transcribe it into text, so I can read it as notes. I think that it would be easier for me to process it that way. Anyways, hi. Oh, thank you. I think. Oh. Well, I don't know. It's just been doing better this week. I've been a lot more productive. I started my art practice, and that's going really well. I'm happy about that. I started working on like a little novella because like, oh, I've loved creative writing for a very long time, but I haven't done it in so long, and I was like, well, I'm trying to like, fill things out, see what I like doing more. So I wrote the first chapter and I put it online, and people seem to be enjoying it. Yeah, a little bit. People seem to enjoy it. I'm like trying to channel my like Terry Pratchett, Hitchhiker's Guide, dry humor stuff into it. It's been a really good time. It's like there's so much lore. I've been wanting to tell. I have this story that's been inside of me for so long, and I've been wanting to put it somewhere because it's about like this robot who it's a sci-fi. It's like a sci-fi love story kind of thing. So like this robot crashes on this planet, and it's an uninhabited planet, and it's uninhabited by any like typical creatures, like any sentient bipedal creatures, right? But it does have these forests of these trees that are kind of like huge mushrooms, and they have these forests create like a network underground of like this mycelial network that runs throughout the planet, and it kind of works in a way kind of like neurons. So over the millennia, these networks have kind of gained their own kind of sentience. So this little robot crashes onto this planet and has to basically it's a cleaning droid, and it's like, how do I clean up this big broken ship that's around me? So it eventually makes its way to some MacGuffin, and has to go into a deep rest for a very long time. And the MacGuffin is just telling you all the lore. I'm sorry. The MacGuffin is this other AI, like the shipboard computer, right? And it's supposed to be like this hologram lady that helps people like navigate through space. She's like a helper hologram lady. But both the droid and the ship computer get like infected with these like mushroom networks, and it causes their like, very robotic, unfeeling AI to develop in these glitches, these weird little glitches. And they slowly start to become more and more feeling. And the story is about how like eventually this robot kind of like falls in love with this hologram lady who is slowly becoming more and more, capable of feeling love. And then the realization is that like the robot falls in love with the planet itself, and like turns itself into like a caretaker, like something that like maintains the balance of the planet, and creates little robots that fill the world that help till the soil and keep all the plants happy and growing and stuff like that. I've had this story in my head for like the last 2 years, and I'm really excited that I'm finally starting on it. So I had like a little bit of a moment. Like I had like I had like a little spiral yesterday and it was about Mello and like, you know, my regrets and feeling like I fucked it up pretty bad, and it was like I've lost this huge part of my life, right? And well, I kind of like just got worse and worse and worse. My DID kicked in, and one of my alters took over and was like, well, I'm not good at this art stuff, but I can start on this other thing that we've been wanting to do for a long time. So that's Theta, she started working on the first chapter, and I was super happy with how that first chapter came. I'm really excited to keep that going. She like made a whole site. She wrote the thing and then made a whole site to put it online, and it's just out there now. Really cool. It's her or they. Either is fine. Very much so. She's definitely the type that like jumps in whenever I have just completely stopped functioning for whatever reason, which, you know, happens regularly. She's a very good caretaker like that. Right too, and they try to take care of me. I've got a whole bunch of brain goblins that try to do their best to deal with my unending bullshit. But I mean, that's kind of the majority of it. Yeah. She whenever I get like that, she switches in, which causes me to go back to my mind palace, my little cabin in a big redwood forest, and I just chill there until I have stopped freaking out. What did she call it? She called it something. She called it like the feeling sack. Yeah, she said that she stuffed me in the feeling sack. So yeah, no, I mean, that's usually the extent of it, and like Theta is like super big on planning stuff out. So like sometimes I'll get like super depressed and overwhelmed with just, you know, work and trying to keep up with friends and paying bills and everything. I'll get like super overwhelmed while I'm depressed, and I'll be like just not functional. And Tia's very meticulous about planning and kind of creating a plan and then getting it done, and like breaking everything into little tiny steps and making sure that it's something that either, you know, me or her, one of the other members of my system, can take care of it. That is very helpful. T's a real one. Yeah. Oh, yeah. My like headspace. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like a single living thing. It's really I have just like this massive fascination with that kind of thing. That's kind of like how I think of the universe. I kind of think of the universe as this gigantic interconnected system that is sending impulses throughout it, you know, through dark matter, through gravity, through gravitational waves and impulses. And in effect, when you look at it, it looks like this gigantic network, and it looks like neurons when you look at it like super zoomed out, like when you look at like the cosmic background radiation. It's extremely fascinating to me to think of just the universe as this gigantic living thing that thinks in a way that we could never comprehend, but it does think. Like, it goes through processes. It's like it's almost a spiritual kind of thing, but it's not really. I don't know. It's something that I really love thinking about. It kind of gives me a feeling that fate exists, kind of, but it's nothing that we would ever be able to understand. Yeah, and I think I like to think that the way that everything is interconnected manifests itself in some way that we're not able to pick up, but we're able to kind of feel, like vibe through. I really like to think that it's something that kind of connects us all in a way that we can't really say or describe, but like we just have like this intuitive sense of it, which is just like a way to pretty up my overactive imagination, but like I don't care. I'm sticking to it. Yeah, I would say that, yeah, because when I first came up with the idea, what I was going through was I was trying to find my way to water the flower. That was when I came up with that whole system, when I was like really ironing this out. And this cleaner robot its job is to clean, which is to, if it sees something out of order, it sees it as a puzzle to solve. It needs to fix that. I want to show the process of this little robot that doesn't know how the world works, accepting that sometimes it's beautiful to let the world exist as it is, that you can fall in love with the disorder of the world. It is autobiographical. It is like, because that's my journey, is like letting things exist and then learning to make the best out of the chaos. It's like the main thing keeping me going, I guess. I'm excited about it. I'm excited. Finally getting it out on paper is it makes me very happy. Mm-hmm. So this was supposed to be like shapes and perspective. Turns out I'm really dog shit at sticking to a plan. So it's mostly been perspective, because that's just what I find more interesting, is playing around with perspective. So I have been doing it, interspersed with little bits of tangents. Like one day I spent like a whole day just practicing hands, because I really suck at drawing hands and I really want to learn how to do it. And I was like, well, I'm going to be sitting here anyways, and I can't get this fucking box to look right, so fuck it. Let's just make some hands. But yeah, no, it's going. It's, I'm like eking out little tiny bits of progress, and I realized that, my initial estimate was probably unrealistic, but that's okay. Progress is not linear. I will, as long as I keep myself doing something, I'll be happy. Oh yeah, no, I mean the effort of it. The effort of it, I am very happy with. Like, I've been having a great time, just kind of letting myself sit and create things again, because it's been so long since I've been able to create things. I really don't know what it is that's made it so that I can lock in again, because I have not been able to for quite a while. Even at work, it's like been like the main thing that I struggle with, right? So I don't know, something just clicked, and I'm at work and I'm doing tasks without people asking me to do them, which is crazy. And I'm getting everything so nice and tidy and organized. I'm keeping a nice journal, and I just feel like everything kind of has started to click. Thank God. Because goodness gracious, what a nightmare scenario the last few months have been. So I could have used a dub. Yeah, it's gone. It's gone forever. I'm healed. No, but I think partially. So I don't know if this is true. I think part of it has to be like the Adderall that they put me on like a month ago. I don't remember. Like maybe 3 weeks ago. Which at first I noticed it was making me feel a lot better, but it wasn't making me feel like any more productive. I was kind of like darting between stuff a lot, like I would normally do. But like I've noticed that like as time has gone on, and during this week especially, I am way more able to like just focus in on a single thing and do it. I don't know if it works like that. I don't know if that's a psychological thing or if it's a chemical thing, but whatever it is, I'd like it to stick to that, please. Yeah, you have no idea. Yeah, that's what got me the opportunity to try it, I guess. It's like, I went to a psych, and my psych was like, well, you're super traumatized, so that can obviously present itself in a lot of the same ways that ADHD does. So if we need to just put you through the ringer and to find out if how much of this is trauma, how much of this is like actual chemical imbalance, right? So that is, after I went through that whole thing, I made my way back. She was finally like, okay, well, we can give this a try and see if it helps, which I think it has. And I think a lot of it too is finally being able to get into a rhythm without my step being broken again. Like, for a long time, for like the last few months, I would kind of start working towards something, and then something horrible would happen and would just knock me off my groove over and over and over again. I think I'm finally at a point now that, you know, the mellow door is closed, and I'm not constantly thinking about ways to unfuck that up, I guess. I think now that I'm on a steady path, even though I don't know where I'm going really, but even though I think because I'm on a steady path, I can finally, you know, get back into the rhythm, into the swing of things. And as soon as I can get back into the swing of things, I can kind of stop thinking about it so much. And it does take a ton of mental bandwidth to think about, you know, how am I going to adapt to whatever's fucking wrong today. Very much so. Like, it's just everything's kind of slowly becoming easy. I'm hoping, you know, I could take advantage of that while I can to kind of make things, you know, bootstrap myself a little bit, and to, you know, wash my clothes, maybe. You know, clean my room, get myself not so disheveled like I have been for so long. And as I do those things, you know, every little thing, you know, counts, which is, you know, that's the whole concept of watering the flower, is you just do back up a ton of tiny little positive things when you've done a negative. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just try to do my best, right? What everyone's doing. But I don't think about it like, you're right, I don't think about it like a goal. I think about it like, you know, a bit of scenery that you've passed by, that you're stopping by to say hello to. It's a part of the world, and it's immutable, and you are yourself immutable as well, and it's just everything is just like a big connected but concurrent set of separate processes that can, you know, enjoy appreciating each other, right? That sounds but I think you kind of get what I'm trying to say. No, you're saying that's basically what I'm saying, is like each person is their own distinct thing, and I respect the shape that they come in, and I respect the shape that they choose to be, as well as I try to respect the shape that I've chosen to be. You know, I don't try to mold things I will. I guess. Like, I don't try to consciously influence into thinking in ways that I do. I just, you know, try to appreciate the person that they are. Yeah. It's been going a lot better. I don't know what it is, but I thought it was going to be super anxiety inducing for me be set there in front of my boss, right? But turns out it's actually really nice, because I'm around this group of people now who are always talking, and they've always got like this dialogue going. Whenever I was at work before, I was kind of like, you know, I could tuck myself away into my little cave and just be there forever. And nobody would, I could go whole days without anybody talking to me. But now that I'm kind of more in the central area, you know, I've got a very talkative person right across from me. I have my boss right back there that I can just shout questions to without feeling like I feel like formal about it. I have two of my friendly coworkers kind of working besides me. I can hear them talking, and I can kind of jump into the conversation a little bit, which sounds completely unrelated, but somehow that's actually been helping me a lot at work, because like I don't feel like I'm trying to pass the time as much. Besides, I've been also trying to get myself off of social media at work. I've been, you know, reducing that like a ton, which kind of ended up turning all of my spare time into time that I like write in my journal, or, you know, I write, you know, various stuff, which is fun. I really love writing. It's like super fun. Yeah. Basically, I was pretty far away from everyone. I was still in a cubicle that was near people, but it was not like anybody who like did any of the work related to what I did. So we didn't really talk at all. So yeah, I was kind of like off in the distance, and, you know, very occasionally people would like walk by and I would talk. Now I'm kind of in the middle of it. I don't really have a choice. I have to talk to everybody, which is nice. It helps me be in the moment more, especially, which I think journaling while I'm there is also helping, because like my memory's real bad, but if I can, find a moment at work where nobody's talking, nothing's going on, I'm not working on anything, if I can find a moment where I can recall my previous day, or try to, it helps me a lot to kind of day. I mean, yeah, duh, journaling helps you remember the day, but My memory is so bad that this is something that I have to really think about, right? So the act of remembering it, the act of recalling it when I would normally not have bothered to do so, I think that's helping me be more in the moment too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it on paper it sounded like a shit situation, right? Because like, oh, I am struggling so bad at work. I'm gonna get put in front of my boss, and he's gonna see exactly how bad I'm struggling to concentrate, and he's gonna fire me the next day or whatever. I just kind of accepted that, like, this is the way that was gonna be. I'm gonna try to make the best of it, and I think that I have. I hope that I've made the best of it, anyways. Which I mean, you know, kind of my whole thing is you try your best. I don't know. I've noticed he's kind of seemed more chill around me. You know, before maybe I would say he was like on edge, but I have to say that of course this was after like I had this whole episode where I was like hurting myself, and they were worried about me, and they sent me HR because they thought I was gonna, you know, like drive off the road or something. I think that's just kind of clearing out now, which is helping. Yeah, no, I think because like he's seemed a lot more casual. Like he's bringing me stuff and making jokes about, you know, whatever's going on. And nice. It feels like it did, you know, like a year back. Yeah, which is very good. I was doing very good work a year back. So hopefully this is kind of putting me back into a position where, again, get back into this. Yeah. I really think I just want to, you know, adding to it as it comes to me. The work that T did to put it on the site also happened to make it extremely easy for me to push out more. Like, I literally just open a website and I click a button, and that's it. So there's like zero resistance to me just continuing to write as much as I want. Which, when you're bored, you want to put on some music and just, you know, I have a few ideas already in my mind for where I want to take things. It's nice. It's really nice. I don't have any solid plans. I do know that I just want to keep putting. I want to release it chapter by chapter. I don't know if that's typically the way things are done, but you know, my thing. I could do it how I want. Yeah. No, like I have like a website that it's basically like some blog software called Deckle. It's made for just, you know, writing out your blog and posting it, but instead of a blog, I'm just using it to release each chapter as like a blog post, basically. So yeah, that's the current plan is right when I feel like it, because you know you never know when that shit's gonna hit you, right? Yeah, because art is something that like finds you, you know. It's something to be discovered, not as much. That's the only thing that I've learned is it's like art is something that you kind of discover, and it's not really something that you create. If that makes sense. It's like you found some special colored air and you just grabbed it out of the room, and you're like, I got it. I could post that. and then when as you practice, you get better at, you know, you get a better bottle to grab the air with or whatever. You know, you get better at describing exactly what this amazing thing that you found is. Yeah. No, it's been fine here. I've got a party that I'm going to on Sunday for a Super Bowl. Oh man, that's actually kind of an awkward thing. An ex is gonna be there. A little bit of a, I don't know, might be awkward. There's no beef between us, but she like never talks to me. But yeah, that's like the only other thing going on is I'm doing Super Bowl Sunday. That's pretty much it though. It's just been work and drawing, and very occasionally talking to friends. Yeah, on the 10th on Monday, I'm gonna go back and tell them how things are going. Hopefully, there's only the only weird thing about it so far is like when I get to like 5 p.m. So like now basically I kind of crash out. Like I get so fucking tired. I think it's because of the Adderall. Not sure. Gotta ask him about it. Question mark? I take a mood stabilizer, which kind of knocks me out. So no, not really. Honestly, I don't even care about the mood stabilizing part of it. I'm just glad that I finally have something that knocks me out. Cause I have a hard time sleeping. Cause like I wake up at 6 a.m. There's like months and months and months and months of my life where I was getting precisely 5 hours of sleep a night, which you can function on, but not good. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that I'm really glad to be taking this, mostly because it knocks my ass out at 10 p.m. and I'm golden. Yeah, yeah, and that's why it kind of like I haven't been able to keep on track with my drawing as much. I think because like those 5 hours were precisely the 5 hours that I wanted to draw in. So it's a little difficult, but I'm figuring it out. Yeah, I don't know either. That's the thing. Is like because like I've noticed I'm on my shit right now, right? Does that mean it's been building up in my system to the point where now it's being effective in the way that I wanted it to be, or is this just like a psychological thing because everything's lined up? I don't know. I'll have to ask my psych when I talk to her. That would be nice. That's a hopeful thought. But either way, I'm pretty sure it is doing something helpful. Honestly, not really. That's pretty much the lowdown of everything. I guess I'm forgetting. Oh, I don't have a weekly journal. I should do that to compile them all into like a weekly. Like, I write. See, the thing is, I write so fucking much. I like brain dump. Like this journal is probably like 1,000 words, and it's just for today. Yeah, which is like that's why I was able to bang out the first chapter of that thing, because like that took me like 3 hours to bang out 1,000 words. It's like I ramble, I brain dump like super hard. Yeah, this is not gonna help me. Yeah, I'll plug that into ChatGPT and tell it to tell me what happened. Oh yeah. Oh, I don't give a shit. I'm going there for my friends. Yeah. I you know what the last football game I watched was? The last Super Bowl that I went to the same person's house. They were like midway explaining the rules and I was like, "Oh, I kind of get it. Why is Rihanna up there doing that?" Yeah. Yep, sounds good. Thanks, you too. Bye-bye.